Yesterday morning, I started getting text messages, DMs, and being tagged in so many different stories in regards to two different stories that Miss USA and Miss Teen USA shared. Both title holders explained that they no longer have access to their social media accounts as of about a week and a half ago, so the beginning of April, and that nothing said by the Miss USA or Miss Teen USA accounts is coming from them. Here are the statements that Uma Sophia and Noelia released in their Instagram stories. Over the past 3 months, I have released several episodes in regards to the overall state of the Miss USA organization. Some people think that I have over-exaggerated things in my episodes, and of course that is completely your opinion. The reality, though, is that I have only shared a very small amount of my understanding of what's actually been going on behind the scenes. For many reasons, there is a lot that I have not been able to disclose. And if you knew those reasons, you would completely understand why there has been so much that I have not chosen to share on this channel. Let me say that I did not know they were going to release these stories on Instagram, but these stories were released on the heels of another recent episode that I think that you should check out. And all of these episodes dedicated to what's been happening in the organization are in my Miss Universe playlist, if you'd like to check those out. After reading these stories, I spoke to some other very reliable sources to get a little bit of clarification. From what I learned, Miss USA title holders did not have access to the official Miss USA account through the IMG era. So having access to the official Miss USA Instagram account would be a new thing. I can't speak for the Miss Teen USA Instagram account. The other thing I learned from a very reputable source is that the Miss USA account currently is not managed by the Miss Universe organization or its members. They have not had access to the account for months. So that means the Miss USA Instagram account is only accessed by a few people. As we can see from this story, it would appear that Noelia once had access to the Instagram account, which means that there's only a few others that could be accessing it. There is a very narrow pool of possibilities, which would include Layla Rose, the current owner, and then any person that is employed by the Miss USA organization to manage the social media account, or accounts in this case, since we're talking about the Miss Teen USA page as well. Shortly after Noelia and Uma Sophia posted in their Instagram stories, the Miss USA organization took to their social media page to release a story of their own. This is what the story said. Over the last several months, the Miss USA organization has gone through a reorganization which included reevaluating our social media processes. Moving forward to ensure consistent content, the Miss USA and Miss Teen USA organization pages will be run by the brand following industry standards. Our title holders were informed in advance of this change once the decision was finalized. We will still be working hand in hand with the current Miss USA and Miss Teen USA to bring you updates on their events, appearances, and time as title holders. Our queens are at the core of what we do, and we deeply value their contributions to our social media presence. We will continue to use Instagram's collabs feature to co-author posts with their accounts and bring you first-hand content from each of our title holders so you can hear from them directly. You will continue to see the same great content that you have come to know and love from our queens and the organization, and we are excited to bring you new additional content very soon. Use of commas would have made that easier to read. After this was posted, Uma Sophia shared another story that said, "We realize the importance of our voices only when they are silenced." I don't know about you, but I can read between the lines. Then the Miss Universe organization created a post announcing some of their national directors. Of course, Layla Rose was in this post since she's a national director. But here was something so funny that people are noticing. So on the Miss Universe post, the Miss USA account commented, "We love our president, Layla Rose. Thank you." And then somebody commented, "This is weird. Don't you now run the Miss USA account now?" The secondhand embarrassment I have right now for this post. And then the Miss Teen USA comments right after that and also says, "We love this and our president, Layla Rose." I can't. It's the commenting about herself that gets me. Think of it this way. It's kind of like if Anne was logging into the Miss Universe account and then commenting on other pages and congratulating herself. And tagging her personal account. And just as a reminder, here is a story that Uma Sophia posted before all of this, and then one that Noelia reposted and what Noelia had to add. Honestly, you were all making me laugh with a lot of your comments and the things that you were DMing me and tagging me in, especially the one that said she's blinking in reference to my other episode. What really gets me is that those of you who tune into this channel for every episode, you know me, and you know I've been watching. And you know I've been paying attention, which is why you love comments about investigating all of this. And it just so happens that I have some more screenshots for you because I have been paying attention. There were some funny little comments to me that were allegedly posted by Miss USA. But then after they were posted, they were changed. Here is one. "Thank you, at Layla Rose, for making all of this happen." Layla replies, "At Miss USA, always." After that, the comment changed to "Thank you, at Layla Rose, for making this happen, dash staff." Who is staff? Who is staff? That's my question. Also, I've never seen comments like this on the Miss USA page. And I started competing in 2011. I was dedicated to the organization for 7 years. I was looking at every post, every video, every change on the website. I was watching every pageant, all the follow-ups. I was really, really, really dedicated to the organization. And this right here, this type of comment is just something maybe I didn't notice in the past, but it's definitely out of the norm. Here's another comment change for you. "Wow, at Layla Rose, you have outdone yourself again. Noelia Voigt, so amazing that Miss USA gets to drive this beauty." This is when they announced that she was getting a Mercedes, when remember she was supposed to get a Porsche, but then that didn't happen. And then Miss USA responds to Malia J, who is Layla's daughter, by the way. "She has been going over and beyond. Love our president, exclamation point." And then Malia says, "Yes," emojis. And then Layla Rose says, "At Miss USA, XOXO, heart, hand emojis." And then the comment changes to, "From all of us at the Miss USA organization, she has certainly gone over and beyond, dash staff." Here's another one. "It's what's on the inside that counts. Miss USA takes on Miami." Also, remember when Miss USA was supposed to get a luxury high-rise apartment in LA? And then 6 months later, she still didn't have that, but then she suddenly got an apartment in Miami. Remember that? And then the response here is, "Thank you, at Layla Rose, for making this happen, dash staff." Here are some of my overall thoughts about all of this. Unless anyone is actually seeing who is making posts on Miss USA or who is commenting on behalf of Miss USA, it's essentially speculation, and there's a lot of deniability there. So let's keep that in mind when we're talking about all of this. The other thing I want to mention, though, has been the talk about transparency regarding the organization after Crystal Stewart was no longer the director. It seemed like everybody was talking about that, but it doesn't feel like we have transparency. The other thing I'll mention is that having a huge social media following like the Miss USA page has can be extremely valuable to title holders, and creating content for those types of platforms is now and more part of your job as a title holder. Now, whether or not that means having direct access to posting or having that content submitted to a brand manager, a social media manager that is then curated for the, for example, Miss USA social media pages, in either of those scenarios, it can still be valuable for a title holder to have access to that type of audience, that type of platform. But I will say that myself and many pageant fans and many pageant fan pages have noticed an overall decline in quality of the social media management at Miss USA, unfortunately. I talked about this in other episodes. Just look at the difference right now and look at the turnaround, for example, Miss America has taken. So Miss America's social media had also declined. And now that Robin Fleming took over that organization, Miss America is everywhere, everywhere. And her content is incredible. Honestly, Miss America deserves a follow. Now, go follow her. In comparison, Miss USA seems very absent during her year, and the quality of the posts aren't there. And if you really want to see what I'm talking about, just scroll back on the Miss USA's Instagram account. Scroll back to 2017, great year, I would say, for their social media pages. I don't know who was in charge of that, but it was looking great. Well done. You need to be rehired. But nowadays, social media is more and more important, and people are paying attention to it, and they are judging your organization based off the quality of the content that you're releasing. So it is important, and it's important that it's managed really, really well, and that things like this that I just shared about in this episode aren't happening. The other thing I'll mention in this episode is some people have been reaching out to me because they've noticed lower contestant numbers at different state pageants, and I feel like there's a few reasons for that. First and foremost, the pageants were postponed, so many contestants could not even make a commitment to compete in their state pageant. The other side of that is, due to a lack of transparency, many contestants do not trust the current state of the organization. That is how I feel based on conversations that I have with potential USA contestants every day. I have never had so many messages from contestants asking if it's even worth it to compete in the Miss USA organization. The only time I've seen things like this is during Miss America 2.0, when contestants decided that they wanted to switch over to Miss USA. Now I am seeing the opposite happen. That is unfortunate to me because I do love the organization and I do want to see it thrive. I am a former title holder, and there is a certain amount of prestige that is associated with the Miss USA and Miss Universe brand. We're just seeing a decline in trust and contestant numbers. Now, the other thing that I think is really contributing to this is, in a way, how eliminating the age limit can really backfire on you, because now that contestants feel unsure about what's going on in the organization because of all these posts from title holders and just watching how everything has been going down, now contestants are thinking, well, now I can compete forever. I'm just gonna wait this out, and I'm gonna wait for a new era. I'm gonna wait until things vastly improve, even if that means sitting out several years. There is no more incentive for these contestants to be in a rush to enter their state pageants, and I am telling you, many of them right now are waiting it out. I know this from conversations that I'm having with contestants all over the country. This is a huge problem for the organization, and if they cannot gain the trust of contestants, they will start bleeding money starting at that state level, and then they're going to start to bleed money at the national level. When fans are going to pull their support, they're also not going to be supporting because the contestants that they love aren't competing. And whoever they love and wherever those contestants decide to go compete, whether they want to go to World or Supra or Grand, whatever it may be, when those ladies leave the Miss USA organization, their fan bases and their teams go with them. Organizations should never underestimate the value of their contestants. You are nothing without your contestants. And many organizations, including the Miss Universe organization, have seen how profitable it can be when you have a title holder who brings her following to your organization, and how fans will flock to support your organization, not because of your organization. Don't get it wrong. They're flocking because of that contestant. Where that contestant goes, they will follow. Look at Catriona, for example. She built a fan base when she was competing at Miss World. That fan base only grew as she announced that she was going to compete at Miss Universe Philippines. After she won, there was even more of a fan frenzy all about her, and there was so much support from the Filipino community for Catriona at Miss Universe. Watching all of this unfold is really sad to me. I am very excited for Uma Sophia and for Noelia's year to be over, not because I feel that they aren't great title holders. It's actually the opposite. I feel like both of those young women, and just watching their journey to their respective titles, was inspiring, and you could see the work, you can see the dedication, you can see the commitment to the dream. And I feel like they haven't had the year that many other Miss USAs and Miss Teen USAs have had so far. I do hope the best for them, but I also can't wait to see and hear what they share after they crown their successors. It's going to be very interesting to watch. I know I'll be tuned in, and I hope you will too. Thanks for checking out this update. I hope you enjoyed the episode. I appreciate you so much for coming back. I hope that you chose to subscribe for lots more as well, and please let me know in the comments what episode you'd like to see next on the channel.